Yes, we are live. Welcome back, my dear friends. Thank you so much for joining me in the show. This is episode number 16 of Zero Point Healing Show, and I'm so excited as the numbers increase. Every show is giving us different different knowledge, different wisdom, and it's absolute pleasure for me to do this job sitting here and interviewing and seeing all the gifts that each healer is coming into the show and providing us. And today it is all about gifts, all about our own spiritual gifts, how to unlock our true spiritual healing gifts with Theta Healing. So I have with me Marie Miller here, who is a Theta Healing instructor. So opening up and unlocking our healing gifts is in and itself that every healer needs, but not just healers as well. What I found is every single human being on earth has their own spiritual healing gifts. It's some of them, some of us who unlock it, who use it to transform our own lives and to transform others' lives. And some of them don't use it. And in today's show, we are going to discuss about how we can unlock it and how we can use it to help the world. So that's our topic, and I'm Vishnupriya. I am a Theta healer myself, as well as certified in other modalities as well. And Zero Point Healing is my dream come true project. I'm bringing in healers and therapists from all over the world and setting this platform up where they can express and show themselves to the world, and you get to watch all of their magics that they have and all the transformation that they can gift you. So with that being said, let's get started. Welcome, Marie. Thank you so much for coming to my show. And tell us about yourself and how you started off this healing journey. I see you have 20 years of healing experience. Tell us about your journey.
Thank you. Yes. Well, it started kind of in high school. Even before that, I really wanted to work for the CDC and study viruses. And I kind of also had some psychic abilities I didn't know what to do with, but I got to college and then I realized I was allergic to antibiotics. And so I kind of did a course correction and went from traditional medicine into being, what are my other options out there? And so I ended up apprenticing a shaman for a couple of years, which was really fun. And I learned all about runes and tarot and a whole bunch of other just basic energy medicine things. And then just throughout the next 20 years, I kept studying and I didn't find anything that was quite right for me until I encountered Theta Healing. And how I got into Theta Healing was when I moved to San Diego from Cleveland. I was coming out of kind of a bad relationship. I'd been with an abusive husband who was mentally and emotionally and verbally abusive to me. So I was healing from that. And I also had daily migraines. And I was walking down the street in San Diego and I saw a sign that said foot bath. And so I'm like, well, I'll try anything at this point because nothing was working. And I went in and I didn't get a foot bath that day. I ended up getting Theta Healing and nutritional advice from a married couple. And after 2 months, no more migraines. I don't have them anymore. It was the most miraculous thing ever. And I was just like, okay, this is what I've been looking for. So that's the short story of my healing journey.
That's wonderful. And tell us about how you were able to unlock your spiritual gifts, getting into our topic, how Theta Healing helped you unlock your gifts.
Well, so before Theta Healing, I had a couple of gifts I was aware of. Like I'd been seeing ghosts since I was 3, but it took a long time to get rid of them and to deal with them. So I went through a phase in San Diego of dealing with just a lot of ghosts. So that was interesting. There's a lot of stories there. But I also had this innate ability to, if I was near someone and their energy was really open, I would just see their entire history, like things that they didn't want me to know. And I would kind of get mad at it because I'm like, well, what good is it to know someone's past? Because doesn't everybody want to know their future? And so I was frustrated with my gift for a long time because I'm like, that's kind of silly. Like people know where they came from. But then through the perspective of Theta Healing and understanding that you can literally change your future and your now by changing your past, I'm like, oh, that's why my gift makes sense. And so it's really beautiful that I'm able to help in a session guide people a little bit more by having that extra gift. And also, ghost busting got so much easier with Theta. It's just it's just instantaneous now. So those are the two biggest gifts that really helped me unlock.
Wow, that's wonderful. And tell us how one can open up their gifts. So there might be, healers out there who don't really have this kind of gifts, who is thinking, what are my gifts? How can I unlock them?
Well, the first thing you need to do is make sure that you're not afraid of them, because I've run into so many people who are actually afraid of them. They are like, something happens when they're little and they get scared and they shut it down. So first you just need to know that like every single human being has some gift, right? We may not think of it. It may not look the way we think it's going to look, but we all have some sort of spiritual gift. So the first, you have to accept that you're capable of having the gifts. And then another thing to do is just play and experiment and see, what's possible and what you can do. Because for a lot of people, they just haven't tried. And that's why I love teaching the advanced course specifically in Theta Healing. It's basically, we do downloads on you for half a day, and then we just play the rest of the time. And so many students get their mind blown because they didn't even know that they were capable of these things. So.
Yes, and tell us about Theta Healing in general. There might be other healers on the call today who do not know what Theta Healing is.
Well, Theta Healing is a modality developed by It started in the late 90s when she had broken her leg, or not broken her leg. She had cancer in her leg, and the doctors told her it's going to have to come off, and she's like, "No, I don't accept that." So she went home, and she just basically went up to God and prayed and commanded that her leg was healed. And after a while, it was, and that was her big miracle for it. And everyone was asking her, like, how did you do that? And she broke it down so she could teach everyone else. And it's broken down in such a way that literally anyone can learn Theta Healing, as long as you have faith in something greater than you. That's the only requirement, is having faith in the universe or God or the creator. And that's who really does the healing. And the fun part that we do with that is something called belief work, which is where like my gift of seeing the past really helps out, because it's basically like we're spelunking through your subconscious, trying to find what you believed when you were 7 or what your ancestors believed. That's just stripping things up for you now.
Yes, and tell us about a session. And I know you do sessions, Theta Healing one-on-one sessions, especially for healers, for helping them uncover their magic. So tell us about how a Theta Healing session with you would look like, especially when a healer wants to come to you to open up their gifts.
Well, when they're specifically working on opening up their gifts, a lot of things I do is I have them imagine what their world would look like if they already had those gifts. And so when we're doing it that way, we're basically trying to figure out like what they're afraid of, or figure out which ancestor is trying to trip them up. And like I said, our sessions are mostly a conversation. And so it's a game of 20 questions. And if you don't know what you want to work on, because some people don't, they just know I need to work on something, I just let you talk about, what's been going on, and the creator is going to guide me to which point we need to work on, because we often find that even though it looks like 8 things are going wrong in our life, there's usually just one root that we need to work on.
Yes, and so when you're doing sessions, maybe you can share some of the experiences, like how you said a major block that is blocking someone to open up their gifts is their own fear. It's we who are blocking our own gifts. So tell us, maybe you have had some client stories about what kind of root causes does that go to?
Well, I have one from on myself, because I love to like poke fun at myself, especially when I teach. One of my blocks for me completely unlocking some of my other gifts was, we found in class that I literally had a fear of becoming a very mean person, like I'd stop being nice. And I've also gone back and talked to ancestors who were persecuted for that, so we always want to make sure that we clear up any of those that have happened. And I've also, on a more personally note, dealing with my relationship, I had an ancestor who was convinced that if I got married, I would die in childbirth. And so because of her, I kept sabotaging all sorts of relationships.
Yes, and talking about ancestors and
Mm-hmm.
with theta healing, the speciality of theta healing that I found was it goes into all levels, all of your past lives, all of your historic level, all the genetic level, the soul level. So tell us about all the different areas that it covers.
Oh, that's true. So, yeah, there's 4 different levels of belief. And the first one are the beliefs that you already know you believe. Those are your core beliefs. So, from the time you're born until now. And those are the ones that you resonate with strongly, and you're aware that you believe these things. And then you also have your genetic beliefs, which are all the things that your parents believed going back about 7 generations. And then there's something called the history level, which is a big, broad, fun level to play in because it has not just your past lives, but the past lives of your ancestors, all the beliefs that you carry from the land, and also the things that you believe from the collective consciousness. And so there's a lot of work to be done there. And then there's also all the beliefs that your soul has been carrying from life to life. So when we do theta healing, we work on all of those levels simultaneously.
That's wonderful. And what I found with my own experience with theta healing, I've done theta healing sessions for myself, at least with 10 to 15 different healers. And every time it has been my genetic level, my ancestral beliefs, and how we have that all in our DNA. And that was one thing that I was surprised. Oh, 7 generations back, one of my ancestors believed that, and that is affecting me in this life. I was like, wow, how in the world would I ever know that? And theta healing was like so magical that it opens up, it shows us all this fear, for example, is coming from generations back, fear of, food, fear of poverty, fear of, our own life, all of that we still have in ourselves, when in this modern world we don't really need all of these fears, but it is just coming back to us generations after generations.
Yeah.
So what are your experience when it comes to working on that genetic level from ancestral patterns?
I mean, actually, I find it can be really fun to get all the different stories. And it's so powerful that a lot of times my mom will text me and she's like, "Are you working on the history level again?" Because she can actually feel it. So it's pretty magical because it doesn't just clear up your energy. It's like when you work on that, it actually gets offered up to the other members of the family.
Yes, and if one person in a family starts doing this healing, the magic as it spreads throughout the whole family, and that's wonderful to see as well. That's beautiful. So tell us about what courses do you offer as an instructor, and where do you hold your classes?
As an instructor, I teach the basic DNA, which is the first one. Like, it's just like it sounds, it's the basics. And then advanced, of course, is when we do all the fun, magical stuff and you really like level up a couple times. I teach dig deeper, which is when you get really good at the question and answer part and you learn like which question to ask next. I also do Rainbow Children, which is a fun class for kids and adults where you basically just play the whole time. So it's another really fun class. And there's no prerequisites to get into that one. Anybody can join one of those classes. And then I also teach intuitive anatomy, which is so much fun because it's 15 days of talking to the body about what each system of the body believes, and you get tons of on-hand practice. And then I also teach the Manifesting in Abundance course, which deals a lot with ancestral beliefs around money.
That's
And I
nice.
teach, and
And
I teach in Ohio, like right here in Columbus, and then also in Oceanside, California.
that's beautiful. All right, so now let's get started with our group healing session. We have plenty of time to cover that and all the
Okay.
downloads that you have for us. Are you excited for a beautiful healing session? Let's get started.
Wonderful. So first I'm going to give everyone offer you some beautiful downloads, and these all have to do with the topic of unblocking your magic and learning how amazing you are. And to receive a download from Theta Healing, all you have to do is say yes out loud so your conscious mind and your subconscious mind knows that you're accepting it. So do you all want to know the Creator's definition of being magical? And that you know how, that you know when, and that it's possible for you to unlock all of your magic? And especially that it's safe for you now to unlock your magic. And do you want to know what it feels like to be able to unlock all of your abilities? And that you know how and when, and that it's possible for you to unlock all of your abilities. And do you want the creator's perspective and definition of being unique? And that you know how, that you know when, and that it's possible for you to be truly unique. And especially that it's safe for you to be unique. Do you want to know what it feels like to be accepted by your family as a healer? Do you want to know what it feels like to be accepted and supported by your community as a healer? And do you want to know what it feels like to be accepted as a psychic?
Yes.
And that it's possible for you to be accepted in this world as a psychic? And do you want to know what it feels like to be proud when you tell the world that you're psychic? And that you know how to go through your daily life knowing that you're extremely magical? And do you also want to know what it feels like to know that you're a divine spark of God? And that you know how to walk through your daily life being a spark of God? All right.
It was
And so
beautiful.
now, yay. So we're ready to do the group
Yes.
healing?
We can start with the group healing.
Wonderful. So for the group healing, I invite all of you who are watching to hold in your heart the names of some people that you really want to send some love to right now. And then I'm going to walk you up to the 7th plane. And when we get up there, I'll walk you through it again, but you're going to just take all the unconditional love that you see there and send it out to everyone. And I'll be sending it to everyone who's listening. So everyone sit comfortably, wiggle yourself a little bit in your chair. And then you can center yourself in your heart and take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, send your energy down into the ground to connect with Mother Earth. And then feel that beautiful Mother Earth energy coming up your legs, lighting up each one of your chakras until it forms a ball of light above your head. Take a moment to notice what color that ball of light is. Put yourself inside the ball of light. And then you're going to start going up, 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 just up. Keep going up and up and up and up, past the moon, past the stars. The higher you go, the faster you go. And you're going to go keep going till you get to the very edge of the universe. And you're going to go on past the universe into a series of bright lights and dark lights until you get to a big, broad band of golden lights. Keep on going through that golden light until you get to a jelly-like substance. Your ball's going to slow down, but you're going to push on through. You'll see ahead of you a pink cloud. And behind the pink cloud, there is a window filled with beautiful light. Go on through the pink cloud into that pearly iridescent white light. And as you go deeper and deeper into the light, your ball of light's going to dissolve. And you're floating in that pearly iridescent white light. And if it's your first time walking up to Theta, just know that this is the 7th plane where the Creator is and everything is possible up here. So take a moment and breathe in all some unconditional love for yourself. And then we're just going to witness the unconditional love from the Creator that's right available. Witness it flowing into all the people that are on your list. All right. And then we're all going to just take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, bring your consciousness very delicately back into your body. Send your energy down to the ground again. Connect with Mother Earth. And bring that energy back up your body. When it comes to your crown chakra, you can open your eyes. And
Wow,
what I,
that was wonderful. Thank you
yeah.
so much. And it every time the small meditation that we do, it just expands. You feel the energy expanding. That's why I love it. And just the touch of that unconditional love just going up and coming down itself is a huge release. Just to know that there's unconditional love available.
Mhm. All the time. You have that, you have access to it all the time.
Yes. And tell us maybe a little bit about, there's so many healers out there who are feared of opening up their own psychic gifts, who are feared of claiming their gifts. For example, yesterday I did a session where the client was a healer, and she was like hiding, kind of, that's the image that we saw, and it was like hiding from all her gifts and everything that she has, hiding from because of the fear of judgment,
Mhm.
especially in a world where the healing, the spiritual healing is just now starting to take that ripple effect, and people out there are not ready to accept it yet. And that's the fear of judgment. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that has been one of the biggest themes. Like a lot of time we get down to it, a lot of people are afraid of being ostracized or outcast, and that was a big thing for me. It took me a lot to say in public that I was a psychic. Like I spent I've been working for 20 years towards this, but I spent the first like 10, 12 years hiding the fact that I had any abilities. And it's because there have been throughout history times where people were ostracized or killed for their healing gifts. And so that's what it comes down to oftentimes when people have different blocks.
Yes, and with theta healing, it's usually
Mhm.
just one session. We can do all of these
Mhm.
downloads and get to the root cause of it and pull out those limiting beliefs. So tell us
Mhm.
about the downloads and how downloads actually work, and how it can change what is happening when we are getting those downloads.
Well, when we're getting the downloads, it's basically like, we have, receptors for different chemicals in our body, and we also have receptors for different emotions in our bodies too. And so we bring in a download. It's basically teaching your body what it feels like to have that emotion. And we can be very specific about them. Like, you want to know what it feels like to have serenity in the midst of chaos. And and it also works the other way too, because if you grow up in a super chaotic house, then your body's going to be used to chaos and want to feed it. So we can also release you from negative ways of being that you're used to having in your life.
Mhm. Yes, and I love the fact that with theta healing, we can download the beliefs as well as the feelings, because
Mm-hmm.
feelings are the ones that is playing the major role, not just the beliefs themselves, but even though we have a belief, unless we know how it feels like, because it's the feelings at the end of the day creating our reality. So tell us about how we are able to download these feelings and how important they are.
Well, we download the feelings by literally going up to the creator and asking that he brings them in. And it's sort of like you're watching a waterfall of sparkles come into the other person's body. And we also make sure it goes into every single area of their life, all the different levels. So that way their subconscious just can't run away from it. I also love the fact that when you're in a session, we can get very specific about them as you feel, because you can sometimes feel the client's subconscious run away. And so you have to be like, and you have it every day and it's possible because our subconscious minds, they can be a fun, tricky place.
Yes.
And so the downloads just let you know that the belief change that we just did is real and it's going to happen, and that you know how to adapt to it.
Yes, and I remember my first theta healing session, and my major blocks in life had been about money and finance and wealth in general. And the very first time I did my theta healing session, the healer actually downloaded me with, I know how it feels like to have abundance in my life. And things of a few other downloads, with regards to money and abundance. And then immediately the next day, what happened was I started, the day before that, my bank account was literally negative and all the stuff was going down. And right after my first theta healing session, right after these downloads, the next day I got an offer for the business that I wanted to sell. And I had some $5,000 transferred to me on the next day after theta healing session. I was like, wow, what powerful magic does that happen? Because when you're doing the session and getting these downloads, we do not know what's happening. But then I understood was, okay, so it's my feelings and my beliefs that's creating my reality. And when I am sitting in lack and all I have is this lack vibration going on, then obviously my bank account will be negative. And then when this download is happening, it's changing our energy field, and we know how it feels like to have abundance. Once that's downloaded, what I saw was immediately the reality has to shift and change. There's no other way, because that's how the reality is created. And it's like, wow, I'm gonna learn this. That's when I decided to become a theta healer myself. And that is wonderful. Thank you so much, Marie. It was a wonderful conversation towards all of that. So you can find Marie's link. We will be putting it in the comment box below. And her psychic abilities, I think it is your special spiritual gift that you have, has made you this kind of person who has this ability to help healers unlock their spiritual gifts. So if you are a healer, my dear friends, if you are a healer, and if you are fearing hiding your own gifts because you see that your family or your friends or your community and your society is not ready to accept them, please understand that all of your reality is created just with your beliefs. And once you change your beliefs, it is going to change your reality. And that's how theta healing can create magic in your life. And Marie is the best person to go to if you are going through this kind of fear of claiming your own gifts and becoming the healer that you are truly. As well as we also have a special 10% discount coupon code for you on any of Marie's one-on-one sessions that she is doing. And it is 0 point. You can tell her about this 10% coupon code as well if you're ready to book a session with her. Thank you, Marie. Any final words from you?
No, just thank you so much for having me. Like, I really appreciate that. And I'm just so excited to help people, uncover their healing gifts, and for everyone to realize that they're magical and amazing.
Yes, that's the whole point to my show as well, letting them know how magical they are. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you, Marie, and thank you, my dear viewers. I'll see you in the next show. If you're seeing this on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe so that the more subscribers we have, the more people can watch these videos and change their lives. So please do support and subscribe. Thank you so much. Thank you, Marie.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.